Welcome. What do we got going on today? Well, this is my wife's 47 Chevy Street Rod, and ever since we bought this thing, it's had a leak, a transmission fluid leak over the winter time. And doing some research, I've found out that it's caused by a leak down from the torque converter through a worn bushing seal into the transmission. It overfills the transmission and leaks out every place. So our task today is to pull the tranny out because I got to get it to pump. And I've already did a little siphoning back here. I siphoned some fluid out just to trying to get some, in case I have to pull a pan, it's not so messy. So I got just a hand vacuum pump and a hose ran down the dipstick tube, siphoning out that. And what I bought was on eBay. Here's the pump seal, or the pump to torque converter seal, I should say. This is the bushing that the torque converter would ride on inside, press inside the pump. O-ring for the pump, the pump to case gasket, and then these are the sealing washers that go on the bolts that go around the perimeter to hold the pump in. So I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I just thought I'd try it, do something. The kit wasn't very much money. It was like less than 20 bucks. So anyway, this is Kathy's car. It's pretty nice. It's got like Grand Am seats in it. And then I had built this console for her a couple of years back. And we put in a different steering wheel. And I got the clock working. And it's a fun car to drive. It really is. Doesn't get driven enough, I guess. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to probably yank that tranny out, and I'll bring it back and show you what it looks like. All right, here's the underside. Doesn't look too bad. Come on, can you focus for me? Guess you can't. There's a few drips up in there, but the rest of the pan was dry. Let me get you around here, show you the front. Pardon me. There's the front looking back. I had this pan off, I think this spring maybe, and I cleaned everything up, put a new gasket on it, and all that looks pretty dry, but no. But one nice thing about this, somebody modified the cross member so you can separate it here, and then get you around here, back here. Oops, there we go. Anyway, we'll keep plugging away. All right, we got a little side distraction here. There was a brake line that came off the proportioning valve. It went around the back of the transmission and up the side, and it had a compression union on it. So it's kind of a no-no for brake lines. But anyway, I decided to take that off, and I thought, instead of running it back there behind the transmission again, eliminating the compression union, make one line, I would run it up in front along the front cross member. So what I did was, got my handy dandy snap-on flaring tool set, but what I did was I made patterns out of coat hanger. I just took coat hangers like those, straightened them out, and made patterns there. Well, it took two of them, but two pieces, this one, and yeah, constructed this line. Had to put the flare nuts on it yet, but I'm thinking that's going to work out a little bit better for me. Anyway, just thought I'd drop that in. Well, you got her out. Still kind of in the way of getting it out of the pit, but might have to jack up the car a little bit to clear my temporary engine holding fixture. But one thing I did note, the slop on here is showing up on camera or not. It's got some play, so hopefully that bushing will correct that, and the seal will seal it, and we won't be cleaning up the murder scene worth of ATF next spring when she sits over the winter. So yeah, that's where we're at. Success. Got it out, got it plugged into this nice transmission holding fixture that my son had. Thank you, Scott. So that'll be making nice to work on. Rotate that around any which way, and hopefully everything will go just like I planned. We'll see. So a little pump removal tip here for the Turbo 350. After you get your bolts out, two of these bolts will have 3/8 coarse thread right there, and if you're lucky, you can screw a couple 3/8 bolts in here and then hit them with your favorite impact. And it'll lift the pulp out. Like that. All right, keep going. I got the pump in the vise here. I just took off these 5 bolts. This is the spring retainer for the, I think it's the intermediate clutch piston. So yeah, take a 1/2-inch socket, get those off. And I think this piston just lifts out here. Yeah, it's got a seal on that. And it's there. All right, let me get this locked in the vise. All right, get him locked in a little better. This, I think, just lifts off. Sure does, doesn't it? Don't fall, don't fall. All right, pump gears. And the bushing I need to get to, I think hard to see it, but it's down there, and the seal's after that. So I'm going to gently take these pump gears off and maybe get her over the press or something and see if I can coax that out of there. Okay, here's another tip. If you're not replacing this bushing and you just want to take the seal out with the transmission, well, out of the car, but not the pump, not disassembled, so you're going to have the input shaft passing through here. If you need to take that seal out, what I've done before is use like a self-tapping screw or two, and you can go like on each side here, sink that screw in, and then once that's in there, you can take a claw hammer and work that thing around and pop that seal out that way. That way you don't have to take the pump out, take it apart, risk loosening something else up in the transmission. So anyway, that might help somebody out. I just thought I'd pass that along. Okay, a little update here. I got the seal and bushing both pressed out and the new one's pressed in. A little old school thing that I did is I had some of this Permatex #2 forma gasket, and I put a little layer around the perimeter of the outside perimeter of the seal and wiped a little bit on the inside too. And then for reassembly, I put the bolts Just set the bolts in here so when I tighten this up, keeps these two halves hopefully even enough so it'll drop in. The other thing too, I took this apply piston out of here and I really didn't need to. It's a little tricky getting it back in. And I had a thin plastic, one of those Trans-Tech seal installer. It's just a thin sheet of plastic. You kind of like scoop it around the outside and get it to set in there. But anyway, if you're doing yours, it would help to leave that in. Now, you don't have to take that out. Just have to take this off. So got it pressed in, got the new seal in. I wasn't really impressed. I thought the new bushing would be a lot tighter, and it's not really much tighter than the one I took out. So hopefully the seal will do the rest of the job, but it's time to put it back together. Well, there it is, ready to go back in. Made a spacer up for my dipstick tube right here. It wasn't quite fitting. I had to get a different O-ring for that because somebody had a big gob of silicone sealer on there. So I don't know if that was to prevent a leak, whatever. But so this is ready to go in. I got my wrench bolted to the front here to hold the torque converter in there. And yeah, that's gonna be about it. The install. And if you stuck around this long, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.